Pros and cons, pros and cons. The world blames dad when it's really your mom. Good evening. My quarantine bangs are in my face. We have ourselves a special guest here. This is Kelly Longoria. She is a.
I'm not a bro.
You're not a bro?
You're not a bro.
Does that make you a con?
You're
I
a
guess
con.
I'm a con.
She's a con.
I'm a con.
What do you know? At least she's
Interesting.
willing to admit it. And that's what we like.
I'm a pro.
We like honesty here. And
I'm only a con when I'm driving.
You don't want to say pro because you know what that means on the street. Pro means
Oh.
lady of the night.
Never mind. Alright, I don't know what I am.
she doesn't want to be a bro, so she doesn't identify as us. Okay, I get it. She's more of a physical, okay?
He
who
white.
And, but, yeah, I mean, I forgot what I was going to say about her. Jeez. Got distracted.
I'm sorry.
What's up, B. Neal and Chris
We're
Hawk?
here.
Oh man, she fine.
Why do I look blurry?
Chris Hawk?
Is that your,
I just leave the quality low so I don't steal. Oh yeah, are we on the Wi-Fi?
No, we're not.
Okay.
He always leaves the quality low in all areas of his life.
Hey, aim low and you get more fruit.
But what's the quality?
Oh, Koba, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Super chat from Koba.
Already?
Yeah.
Super. Koba.
You guys know Koba, right? Koba from the Planet of the Apes. The new one.
Oh, sorry.
Koba, they do sign language, that's how they talk.
Oh, right, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get acclimated to my surroundings.
Super.
I haven't been here.
Schmitty. Schmitty's here.
What do you know?
You know what Schmitty is?
Well, I know what he's not.
I know what he's not. Exactly.
He's not shitty. Shitty. Schmitty. Sorry, I gotta warm up to this right now.
Nice.
What's up, Jen?
It's one sound, I never forget to change it. All the other sounds, when I hold it down,
I just realized how you're doing that.
when I hold it down, it plays, and I let go, it stops, right? But there's one sound on here with the little symbols,
Delay.
and I play it, but I always gotta forget to change that. But when I hit it, where is it?
All the people them unite.
Continue.
Lucas Reese is in the chat. I
My
said,
hair is...
I don't know who that is. I say this with no disrespect, but one word: beautiful.
Aw.
Thank you. Oh, you're talking about her. Oh, well, thanks, Lucas.
Don't blow up her head any more than I
That's
You know what Jesse says about women and ego. You don't gotta, just watch it.
Ooh, actually, that coffee's pretty good.
Thank you. Raymond says, "Good evening,
Coffee
Fuggins."
looks good.
Does it?
I don't know what no fuggin is, but that sounds good.
Who's what?
Good evening, Fuggins. Says Raymond. Mr. Matt,
Fuggins.
Indiana
I like
Matt.
fucking.
Sounds like an old man.
You're fucking crazy.
No, hey, you gotta watch your mouth. It's old man fucking.
Lucas, that was beta, says Chris. I don't know, it's borderline beta.
What
I don't
is?
know. He's saying complimenting a woman.
What?
Or as the kids would say, is it simp or beta?
Well, see, I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between saying a compliment and then saying something true. Is the saying the sky is blue a compliment? No, it's not. It's true, right?
Right.
So if someone says you're beautiful,
But what is that? How does that make it beta? If it's a
well,
compliment.
I see it as being like, because some people just are trying to like get on their nice side. You know, they're gonna be really nice to you and they're gonna
Yeah.
pander to you because they want.
They're being
So
manipulative.
they're being dishonest.
So they're being.
Not dishonest, manipulative.
Well,
So manipulation is beta.
I guess they
Yeah.
sugarcoat. You know, they say stuff like, "Wow."
Because they're trying to get something from you.
Yeah, something. I don't know. I guess
That makes sense.
I don't know. At least that's how I see it.
Okay. All right.
Koba with another super chat. You are on fire,
No
my
way.
friend. He deserves a song.
What day is today?
Koba.
Today's Friday?
Today's
He
Friday.
got paid today.
Koba.
At least someone's getting paid.
So Koba's an ape. He's in the chat.
What's racist?
Well, he's a great ape. Look at him. So let it simmer. Something with monkeys
What
and
are you-
apes.
Look, he thinks that I'm the monkey. He thinks that I'm the dance monkey jukebox that'll just do whatever he
Hit the
says.
cymbals. That's all right, Lucas. Embrace it.
Monkey. Oh, monkey. You are a monkey. Stop breathing down my neck.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
so we got 13 people. The rest are still trickling in. Here we go. T Warrior 1, Mr.
T
San
Warrior.
Antonio himself.
I like that guy.
He's one of the best guys that we've ever met.
Hey, no man is best.
He says, "Call me Beta all day. She is gorgeous." Oh, hi, Beard Junior Trev. Yeah, so yeah, he barely noticed us. T Warrior. I thought you liked spicy Latinas with tattoos on their lower back.
Who's that?
T Warrior.
I'm a spicy
Oh.
Latina.
I don't,
Oh, she's
I'm
a
not
spicy-
watching.
I'm
Oh yeah,
half-
she's
I'm a half Latina.
she's half Latina. She's half Mexican.
Yeah. She's Mexican.
Hmm.
Half, right?
Yeah, yeah, technically.
She's not a African.
She's Messite.
Yeah. What do you call yourself?
I'm a jungle Mexican mixed with American.
But you don't have any Mexican at all in your.
I know, but technically, if you're, it's like Mexican in the jungle, Central America, so you call them jungle Mexicans. And if you're Mexican in Canada, it's a snow Mexican.
Whoa. Okay.
No, it's not.
Snow it is.
So I'm like British and Mexican.
So you're
British.
tea drinking Mexican.
All right, that works.
And I'm T.
And he's T Warrior. Tasty Arabic is in the chat. Looks like Tasty Arabic just fell in love.
Oh
She does like Arabics.
my gosh.
Arabic.
What?
Yeah, if it's not Arabic.
She likes some Arabig.
She made a good evening. Good
I don't know.
evening.
Now I
Is
am.
it inappropriate?
I wasn't at
I'm
first.
sorry. I'm sorry. That was personal.
You know what you get when you cross a Mexican, and a black?
What?
What do you get, Matt?
Blaxican. Right?
I would say Blaxican. That'd be my guess too.
Yeah.
Blaxican.
We were online today for some strange reason. I went online and I scrolled down the timeline and I saw on Facebook videos. Everybody's talking about the same thing, and it's just interesting to me how
Flynn?
people. It's like they want to talk about things all at the same time. I don't want to talk about what I'm saying
Mm.
because everybody's talking about the same stuff. It's almost like a hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag riders surfing.
It's
Hashtag
trending.
surfing.
Yeah.
I run with Mod. I've been seeing that a lot, and
Me too.
God bless. Feel bad for anyone that gets shot and murdered for whatever reason it sucks.
Yeah. I would have said murder, but I know what you mean.
For his
For
family and
dying. A
everything.
loss of life is tragic.
Yes.
Period.
But I notice everybody thinks they're an investigator. They think that they are. They know things like whatever the media tells them. They're like, aha, and then they run around saying it. When everybody can see something different when they watch a video. Like for instance, if you watch the video, I bet you most of you guys didn't notice the hammer that was on the ground. There was a hammer in the middle of the road. I don't know if I've ever seen a hammer in the middle of the road. Maybe I'm just unaware. But if I was, I wouldn't have noticed it in the video.
Yeah, there's some kind of tool. It looks like either hammer, a pry bar, something about yay big.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was telling him, the person who leaked this video, like a month and a half old incident, this was leaked by the lawyers for the kid. So this was a time thing. They chopped it up to the part that they want, not the part before, showing him probably running with that tool in his hand. So yeah, it's all kinds of stuff that
Who
they're
knows? Like,
overlooking.
yeah, I'm not going to say what it was, but you just don't know, you know? And I feel like it's very easy for people to just automatically ruin other people's lives these days, whether it's accusations of like sex and rape and all that kind of stuff. Like people's
Quick to
lives are
accuse.
just ruined because everybody's like jumping on a bandwagon and being like, yeah. I've seen people, someone famous said, what they deserve to be take the lethal injection.
Yeah, they're already
It's
advocating
like,
for the
How do you
killing.
like who are you to say what anyone deserves?
knowing that they don't know, there's no previous video footage from earlier in the incident, none of that, and then everyone acts like they're impartial, but they've already basically hung these men in the public square, you know, at least by the character. They've
But hey, at
assassinated
least
the
it's
character.
father and son. If it all works out good for them, they'll be like, that was good father and son bonding, right?
Oh, jeez.
Get it? No, it actually would be father and son bail bonding.
Bail.
Maybe. If they can get out.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
About, I mean.
About whatever's on your mind.
Yeah, David Ewing said it really well. It's easier to be critical than correct. Yeah, everyone has it's easier to pile on, but no one wants to be patient and wait and not get into their emotions. That's how you know when they're not thinking straight. Because if you're emotional, you have zero logic.
Zero.
Zero. None.
And the stories I've gathered, because I've heard different angles, different things from different people. But originally when it came out, I heard the story was that, what was it, that they saw a guy, the same guy supposedly in their minds, previously snooping around their house, right? Or a construction house that's theirs, right? And
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
He was trespassing on someone's property. He's about 12 miles away from his house. He was dressed in not workout wear, you know, cargo shorts and what looks like
because
boots.
that's what people are. If I've ever been jogging, I've never jogged
in boots.
12 miles from my house.
Yeah, on a 24-mile round.
That's
He's running a marathon, basically.
That would be a 24-mile marathon.
You know, he got caught. He started running. There was even talk that I got to find out where I read it from, but that that was not the second time he was stopped. That those guys had already stopped in the middle of the road earlier. He jogged past them, which shows that they weren't putting hands on him. They were just trying to get him to stop, and they were not going to stop following him. So they went up ahead again, and at that point, he lost it, got mad, and you see him, you know, charge left.
See, I like looking at this stuff like, all right, thinking of people. I don't think of black guy, white guy, or whatever, because if it was a white guy, it'd be the same thing.
Exactly.
You look at the history, right, and you look at the evidence or information there is. But I'm not an investigator, you know. All I can do is have an opinion. But I wouldn't go on social media and like say someone should die, or, you know, I'll just share what I thought. But I wouldn't say it like I knew it was right. Like, you know, this is the way it happened. Stuff like that. Anyways. Supposedly they're waiting for the cops, right? Where to try to do a citizen's arrest?
I didn't read much about it, and I didn't watch the video. So
Oh.
then
you're useless.
what I did do was because I don't, obviously, and I've heard other people say this too, I don't enjoy watching people get killed.
No, it's a terrible
No,
thing.
yeah.
I had somebody.
I don't think anyone enjoys it.
Right, and I didn't feel like there was anything of value that I could add to the
It
conversation.
was actually really sad to watch. It was.
Yeah.
What I was surprising because after he got shot, he was still running for a good 5-6 seconds,
Whoa.
and then just fell down. So it's like crazy how life, you know, you could get hurt, something like a gunshot, so happens so fast, and your body doesn't really respond, and then when it does, it's like, oh.
I had a childhood friend who is still is finishing up about a 15-year bid in state prison for armed robbery. It's his same story as this kid. Started out fine, we grew up skateboarding, got into crime, petty theft. We went separate ways, and he tried to rob a grocery store with people there. And he had a gun, and he knew it. He was strung out. I'm not saying this kid was strung out. Same thing. He robs the cash register, starts walking out. Happened to be an off-duty cop in line, told him to freeze. What did my stupid friend do? He turned around and brought his hand up. Luckily, the cop had enough sense, or just got lucky, shot him in the shoulder.
See,
so he
the
lived.
thing about those kind of reactions is you're only going to react that way
If
when
you're wrong.
If you're guilty.
Exactly. So
If you're like I can't imagine if someone pulled a gun out on you and was like, I'm gonna arrest you, citizen's arrest or whatever, I'd be like, for what? I'd be like, what did I do? You know, I wouldn't try to take the gun from them, or I wouldn't turn around and try to, like, you know, be violent back or whatever, unless I was in my own home, or if it's like, I don't know, I guess it's a vibe thing, you know, because you really know, I can't say what I would do until I'm in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause every situation is different, and only in those moments will you know how to react.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't know how I would react if someone pulled a gun on me and I was innocent. I
you
would
would just curl
freeze.
up into a little ball.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, usually
I would definitely. I wouldn't pull a gun. That's for sure.
Do you have a gun?
No,
Do you believe in owning weapons?
I don't. I do. Yeah. I want a gun.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I haven't made it a priority.
If you have children, are you gonna teach them how to use firearms at an early age?
She has to learn how to use one first.
I don't know if I should be the one teaching them, but I would like for them to learn. Yeah, totally. I grew up around a lot of people that were either in the military or hunted often, so it's not a frightening thing to me. I've seen people own guns responsibly my entire life. In fact, I've never actually seen the opposite.
Amazing. David has a disagreement. He says, following guys with pin your car, whatever that means, with guns is what thugs do.
Following guys?
I think he's talking about the father and son, that them following him was thuggish.
Oh.
Yeah, I disagree. They're exercising their right, which we have.
Well, I guess that's why context is important, because if it's like, if it was their property and somebody was on your property, you know, because the first time I heard it, it seemed like that he was already stolen from there before.
They had
And he came back.
a lot of theft in the area.
He came back, and so they were trying to follow him to make sure that they could get the cops to come, because you know you
Exactly.
could call the cops and then they're gone and then they leave.
The very fact that they had all those burglaries and thefts shows that they kept getting away. So they were not going to let him get away, but they didn't put hands on him. Having a gun and standing there is a big difference than rushing up and putting it in his face. But once he ran up on him, you see them fight for the gun.
What are the laws in, where was this, Georgia?
Georgia.
Where are the laws in these open carry, you know, gun places? Are you allowed to? Because that's a threat.
They were
If
allowed-
someone has a gun and they're like, hey,
Georgia
man,
law lets them detain.
you're allowed to?
They're allowed to
Because
detain.
I noticed a lot of people were like, don't take the law into your own hands. But that is part of the law.
That is part of the law. And
That
it's
is the
a
law.
difficult part to live with, but that's what we have to live with. It comes with freedom. You have to have. You take that away, and you're pretty much you're back to being a slave again.
Because, I mean, Georgia obviously has more lenient regulations than California and LA.
Absolutely.
Because here, right, it's like you kind of have this fear to protect yourself because you don't know how it's going to, like, unless you film it or you have proof of it, right? If someone comes out, like, I get crimes on this app, the Citizens app I talk about all the time. Right here, like walking distance away of people getting robbed, people getting assaulted, held at gunpoint, all kind of stuff. And now, I got knives, right? I got this little knife. But if someone came up on me and tried to rob me, and I said, oh, let's take my stuff, right? And then I just stabbed him out of nowhere in the neck. Only thing that we have is my word, right? Be like, well, sir, unless I filmed it or have proof of it. And who's to say after I stabbed him that what if he says, no, I tried to rob him? And then, that puts us like, well, what do you do? Are you supposed to just get robbed or get killed or whatever it is? Like, so.
Mm-hmm.
So in that situation, it's like if I didn't have a gun, so I can't like hold somebody hostage or like,
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. But if it was a gun, and then they tried to take it from me,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna either take it from me and shoot me with it,
Mm-hmm.
or they're gonna take it from me and run and steal my gun, which I doubt they would do, but they'd probably shoot me. So you're either it's either them or me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at it objectively, where if what they're saying is true, if that really happened that way. In one angle, it's like they brought it onto themselves. They did bring it onto themselves because they followed him, and then they tried to be police officers when they could have just reported description and everything like that to the cops, and maybe they would have got him, maybe not. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but if it's self-defense, it isn't murder, and I think that's what they were trying to determine, right? That's why they were let go originally.
Yeah, no, because he tried to. Well, people are saying that it was self-defense for him to try to grab the gun because
in
they
that moment.
pointed at it. So it's like, which one is doing self-defense?
I see. Yeah.
Right. What they're mad at is like David said. He feels like they should just don't follow him. Just let this thief get away again, and just don't follow him. But
Well,
they're within their rights to stand their arm, to follow him, armed to be armed. Period. They have the right to do that. If they want to follow him to make sure he gets arrested, unfortunately, that is legal, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Where it became wrong is where that kid decided to fight for that man's gun.
Right.
So how can he be responsible for that action? They didn't make the kid lunge at him,
Interesting.
and it's sad, but
Yeah.
you're wrong,
Well,
David.
they just made it now that if you steal up to $1,000 here in California, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a misdemeanor. And I think I read, or someone told me, you might have told me that there was somebody who stole something, got a little citation, and then stole something again that day. Like 3 times they stole a car, stole this or that, because they're not being jailed or prosecuted. It's like incentivized
Zero
to be
bail.
like, Hey
policy.
guys, we'll
Is
just
that
slap
because
you.
of coronavirus, or was that? Before?
That's what their excuse is, yeah. So they let this guy, it just happened like a week ago, 2 carjackings
Yeah,
and another theft, and all 3 times they caught him and they just let him go with a citation.
but they're arresting people for working.
But you're getting arrested to go to the beach, and you
Going to
which
the
is
beach,
crazy.
it's strange. But what I was really encouraged to see what happened to Shelley Luther in Texas because
Yeah.
the Supreme Court in Texas told
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lawyer that put her in jail that they were being unreasonable and that they were releasing criminals and, like you were saying, decriminalizing certain crimes and then arresting someone for trying to feed their children. It's not rational. And
I thought the funniest part of that was when the guy, whoever it was, the mayor or whoever, whatever, said, well, we won't jail you, we won't fine you if you apologize.
right,
It's
so-
like it's like a little kid. It's almost like oh, just say sorry to Ben, and then you won't be in a timeout.
Yeah. Well, the Supreme Court guy said it's an abuse of power, and that's 100%
It's
what it was.
like, you can't chew gum. What did Tucker Carlson say? You can't chew gum unless you have enough gum for everyone.
Yeah. It's just none of this, all this is contradictory. They're arresting people for going out to the beach, but letting pedophiles go in Orange County. You know, it's amazing. Amazing
Said it
times.
before.
Yeah.
Matt said, let's see, we missed a couple of things.
What's up, Matt?
David feels that because, was there any objects in his hand that he stole, and because if there wasn't, then they're still not justified. It doesn't matter, David. If you're wrong, you're wrong, and you should face the law. And it
Maybe he
doesn't
stole a
excuse.
hammer.
Yeah, but either way, it doesn't matter if he didn't have it in his hands. Like, you're letting a criminal go, and that's the problem. You're making excuses for people's bad behavior. It's unfortunate, but you gotta. If we love those children, you're gonna tell them the truth, and you're gonna make them face the law. They have to grow up.
I mean, I do get what you're saying, though. Like, if you did steal something, you would have it. But what if they stole it and put it in a bush, hid it away or something for later? I guess possession is 9/10 of the law, right?
Was the case still ongoing?
Oh yeah, so they just
It's-
arrested them
Yeah.
and charged them with murder. So
I saw that.
yeah,
Who's charged with murder?
the
guy
father
who's-
and the son.
Yeah.
Both of them?
I'm sure this father is gonna be a accessory because he didn't pull the trigger.
Oh.
But,
Yeah, they both were arrested though. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there should always be an investigation, but no, they're not gonna get a fair shake. In a world where people are full of emotion, they're not gonna judge these guys. Everyone's under peer pressure. Just like there's all these, white people who are self-hating and jumping on that bandwagon and not looking at the facts and being reasonable about what you are allowed to do within your rights as an American. And it's tough for some people because most people don't have the nuts to go do that. But if you do have that courage, you have the right to go confront those people and detain them. And that's what makes this country great. It's difficult to deal with the consequences, but who's at fault for you living your life wrong?
I mean, I'm a fan. I want to live somewhere where I can bet on myself in situations more than betting on the police or anybody. I mean, of course, if you need the police, that's good. But sometimes the police aren't going to come on time. If someone's going to come at me in that moment, I can't call the police. I can't. I got to bet on myself. So I kind of want to live somewhere where that's in my favor, where I'm able to doesn't have to be the wild, wild west. I don't want everyone to be crazy, but I know criminals would think twice if they didn't know who was carrying what. They wouldn't come at you if they thought, well, they could be carrying a weapon or
Right.
whatever. Sometimes even carrying this little knife, I'm like, dude, am I gonna get busted? Is someone gonna see this and be like, oh, man with knife?
The man with
Like,
knife.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm like, what's? Because you could look up the laws and stuff, but a lot of these police officers, they make up laws at the time because they have power struggles.
And that's where you have to. We talked about it. Like, you got to deal with it. Like, you feel like you're being unjustly arrested. You don't fight with the cop because you're not going to win. What you do is, unfortunately, you have to let him arrest you. He's going to take you in, and you fight.
You
You
gotta
fight
go
the
through
court.
that system. That
You
red
have to.
tape.
Otherwise, you're dead wrong. Even I would be wrong if I felt like I was unjustly.
Even I would be wrong,
Yeah.
and I'm never wrong.
I fought a charge and I beat it because it was the cop was just basically being a jerk. So
I have an idea.
We're going back in time.
Well, I was gonna say, if you guys want to call in and tell us what you think.
Indiana has a stand your ground law. If the cops are dirty, you can shoot them too. That's amazing.
What's the number?
Chris,
That is
What is it?
really
308.
interesting.
308 5559 308 5559.
I hear you, Joe Lagoon. I hear you. But
I'm sorry.
She said that basically they're looking at the fact that, well, if those guys didn't do this, he'd be alive. Well, if that kid wasn't, doing wrong and in the wrong neighborhood thieving, he would also be alive. So you can go back even further to who really initiated the actions. So if we play that game.
Yeah, but all we saw was 20 seconds. That's all
Exactly.
we saw.
So I get it though. Like it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. And I'm not gonna be on that jury and I'm not the judge, but I certainly feel like these guys are getting railroaded.
Were they off-duty cops? Was that what it was?
He used to be an investigator with the local law enforcement, the father.
Oh, so no wonder he had that in his blood. He was like, this reminds me back in the old days when I was investigating. I'm gonna investigate this guy right here.
Maybe.
Someone said they're looking through all the ring footage in the neighborhood to get more eyes on the scene.
See, that's what I'm a fan of. Is people not a fan, but I'm for that.
Getting more information.
Getting all the information you
Yeah.
can before you just lynch and come to a conclusion. Like I'm a fan of innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I agree.
But in the same token, the other dude's dead, so he can't be innocent or proven guilty.
Koba says, press 1 equals tug on human girl hair. Prove no is wig.
Oh, jeez.
Press 1. It's real.
It's real, Koba.
It's my
It's real.
hair.
Her whole head moved. But it's real.
That's so funny.
Really, where I am at, I never have a problem. Yeah, Matt's pretty based, and he lives in a very based state. He's in southern Indiana.
Southern
Stand your
Indiana.
ground.
You know what I hear when I think of Indiana?
Welcome, Stephen.
It's like the classic cowboy song.
That's fun.
Alright.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of though, when I think that a justice-hungry mob can very easily turn into people just wanting to see people get their lives destroyed.
No, for sure, people like that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why when you look at the media and everybody, how they would use the words they use, words have so much power over people these days, and they're not logical, they're emotional, so they aren't aware of these words that are like spells casted on people. Like they said, hunted, right?
Yeah, they put
These
hunted
are very
in.
like specific words.
It already paints those guys as premeditating that act.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible way to phrase that. They are not. How can those reporters say that?
Because they may not have had the intentions to shoot that person.
Mhm.
It
They may,
escalated.
they used it as I'm gonna make sure you don't leave as a threat. But if you went out and grabbed the gun after that, then it's like, whoa.
Yeah, you're in that moment. You can't assume that guy's not going to take your gun and use it on you. You're in a fight for your life, unfortunately.
I mean, it's all racially charged.
T Warrior has a good comment for you, Trevor and Kelly. He's a black man from San Antonio.
He black.
Very based black man, family man, had children in wedlock. He says if the jogger was white or the shooters were black, this wouldn't make the news.
If the jogger was white or the shooters were
Well, it's there's proof that it doesn't make the news because
Right.
there's 47. I looked it up. As roughly there's 47 intentional homicides a day.
Yeah.
And supposedly when you compare the black to white, right? There's 10-to-1 ratio with black people killing white people
Mm-hmm.
than there are white people killing black people. So there's way more. You just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
And I don't say that because I don't like black people. But there are a lot of people that these days it's apparent they don't like white people
Yeah.
because it's all over the place. It's like people are like, oh, you have privilege, whatever it is. Like,
It's just trendy to talk about. For whatever reason, it gives you social clout. So if you're somebody that's going to stand up for a certain issue that's popular,
people like this white girl.
and I think that people jump on it so quickly because they want to be seen in a certain
Mhm.
light, but they might not have the correct information.
And the proof is the mixed people who are mixed with black and white. They're not claiming the white side. I never hear them identify as white. They always want to take the other side, whatever else they are. So if there was a privilege, why wouldn't people be quick to be like, I'm white,
Yeah.
so that they could get some privilege?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do if I was white.
Privilege aside too, I just think it's a morbid thing to be trending. And I think if we care about justice for one man, we should care about justice for everyone. There are a lot of really worthy causes And if people wanted to stand up for this, I would really like to see them stand up for more things than just this.
Stand up.
There was a recent guy who got caught, and a black dude who went hunting. He literally said and admitted he went hunting for white people. He shot like 4 or 5 white people.
Wow.
There's some tell them about the story about the mailman. The mailman.
Oh yeah, there's a mail carrier. I believe this is, could be in Matt's territory, Indiana. Female mail carrier went to a gentleman's house. He happened to be black and had a big dog. And I guess there was several run-ins where that dog was loose and was a threat to her. She had to mace it twice. So they withheld his mail because he would never deal with the dog. In that mail, it happened to be during coronavirus time, he had his stimulus checks for, I guess, him and his wife, or at least 2 checks is what the report said. And she was trying to get him to sign a form that he would agree to basically kennel that dog or put it away, and that way they have a binding agreement saying that you agreed, so if it happens and I get bit, he's liable for a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
He refused, it escalated, he ended up shooting her dead right there. Because he was mad that they were withholding the mail, and he didn't sign the paperwork, he didn't want to do it the right way. And then there's no talk about that. And I think the quote from him was, "Oh, I was just trying to scare her." But you
Nobody
don't,
knows. You don't hear that.
You don't hear the media. The media's not saying white woman hunted by black man.
Right.
You know, and it's not to say that there aren't tragic things where people are mistreated and they get they're unfairly killed.
Yeah.
But it's over exaggerated for white on black, and it's under exaggerated for black on white.
There was another story. This is old, but I just learned about it or heard about it because I was never reported on before. But it's this crazy story of this lady who her boyfriend is interracial dating, right? The lady was white and her boyfriend was black, and he ended up pouring acid lye on her whole upper body, and she lived her whole life just deformed and all messed up. And I was like, there's video of her in an interview, like talking, being like, she's like, I forgave him, and I'm just like, and then he ended up being in jail for something else, or maybe it was for that, and he got killed in jail.
Wow.
But it was crazy. She had a crazy attitude
That's.
because she's like, I wouldn't change it.
Whoa.
She's like, I wouldn't change it because I like where I'm at in my life.
Wow.
I believe that wherever I am in my life is where I should be. I was like, wow. But then I was like, well, maybe she's just getting a whole lot of interviews, a whole lot of press, has a new identity, and she's rolling with it.
Maybe.
Maybe everyone's nice to her. I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know. It's upsetting. I'm not an expert and I'm not a person of color, so I would
No, all
like.
you have to do is say you're an expert, and then everyone will listen to you.
I want to hear other people's perspectives on it too. And like I said, I didn't watch the video.
That's the spell in wizardry, is you say, I'm an expert. And everyone's like, ooh.
Chris
I believe
says
you.
David is he's judging these dudes like an emotional black woman.
Wait, who's David?
David from our buddy David from church, because David just he's confident in his position. He just swears it's all these 2 dudes, and I get you, David.
Did we get a super chat?
Yeah, Giovanni A.
Giovanni A, my man.
Giovanni,
Yeah.
great photographer, also a very good guy. Well, no man's good,
man is good.
but he's cool. He's nice. He's nice. Matt says, yeah, then live feed Facebook car chase and cops shoot him and got saying, oh, he's talking about there's another incident. So there's a lot of,
Well, we know there's a bunch of instances, all right?
yeah, some cop, there was a chase, the guy ran off, high speed chase, he fired at the cops, they fired back, killed him, and the cop was recording on the mic saying, yeah, not going to be an open casket, I guess. You know, no open casket for you, which is whatever. They get in the heat of the moment, they just got fired at, killed this bad guy, and now they're trying to demonize this cop, like, how dare you say that?
These are all. I feel like they pick and choose these stories because whatever they can use to position themselves to take away and regulate things like our free speech. They're gonna be like, that's hate speech, blah blah blah. I always see them trying to say you can't say that, but I mean you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's the freedom we have.
Yeah, I mean,
So try to take that.
most of the stories we read in the news are paid for by somebody who has an agenda, so we're never getting
When these kind of things,
unbiased
these
news.
bandwagons happen, where everyone, like, I think a lot of people too, they're so insecure and they want people to like them and stuff that they're like, well, I better post about it too because if I don't, then people are gonna think I'm racist.
Yeah.
Or I better, people are gonna think I'm a good person. It's like they want to get the,
They make it about them.
Yeah, it's really like I want to look like a good person, so I'm gonna post it. When most of these people just don't care. People
Right.
like they only act like they care They really care when it's when everyone cares. You know, and I learned that with my music. You know, before I had a hit song, I put out music. No one cared. But I'd see them in person, they'd be like, wow, you're really dope, great. No one posted about it. But as soon as strangers started celebrating me, all the friends and people I knew for years would be like, oh yeah, check this out, Trevor's got a big song. I'm like, dude, you never posted about any of my other songs.
Right.
And now you want to jump on the wagon of everyone celebrating it.
People are afraid to have an original opinion.
People are afraid, and that's the thing, man. I feel like people got to break those barriers in life and realize that life is not about pleasing other people. You can't live for other people, as selfish as that sounds.
Right.
But once you actually can learn to live for yourself,
Yeah.
you can actually really give to other people with real love, as opposed to, you know,
Yeah.
living for other people. Because otherwise, you're a fraud. You're not authentic.
Right.
You never really learn yourself and give real love.
Yeah.
Smitty says apparently Jamie Foxx was on SNL and he said that he enjoyed killing white. It was fun killing white people in his movies.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
That's that's where Trevor talked about celebrities. They become they're agitators. It's a communist strategy. What they say matters, and they know that, and their handlers make them say that, or they say it because they're egotistical. But they affect people's lives by doing that. They charge situations, and it's like you're riling them up.
and normally, like, I don't take offense to that. I would laugh. I'd be like, that's funny. But if he's allowed to say that, then anyone should be allowed to say anything, and it's funny. You know,
It's definitely shocking.
It's one-sided is the thing. It's like, if you're white and you criticize any race, you're racist. It's just like if you Google black power, it's a positive thing. It's like, oh yeah, you know, self-motivated or whatever it says. But if you look white power, it's white supremacy and all these things.
Right.
So like, all in the name of equality. Like, if we really want equality, we gotta look at, we're all numbers. We're all people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, we should all have the same exact treatment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't treat people like any way based off of the way they act. I mean, the only way I'll treat them different is if I gotta speak Spanish, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I told Jill right now, she said, you know, that's the truth. I said, whether we agree or not, the whole point of fellowship is that you don't hate your fellow man or woman for what they believe in. And the problem is, a lot of these people who swear they're Christians or swear they're righteous people, like your Jamie Foxxes of the world and all these other ones, they do hate you.
LeBron James.
Yeah, they don't like you, so they say things with actual anger and hate, and that's the problem. You could think that these guys are murderers, that's fine, but when there's hate behind it, you don't actually love anybody. In fact, you hate me if you're my friend.
It's like you could never say a curse word in your life, right? But your hate, you could say something like, whatever it is. You don't say anything that sounds bad, but there's like this spirit behind it. Or you can say, fuck out of here! And you know it's joking, you know, it's like it's a spirit. And people give words power. And I think that, you know, how you say something and the way you say something is so key. And the actual words themselves, they only play a little piece of like everything. And I like to like look at people and deal with people with that spirit and recognize who has that hatred and that anger. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not what people say, it's how people say it.
Right.
You don't have to, we're not all going to agree on everything, but when someone's angry,
Yeah.
they turn on you, they try to destroy you. It could be your best friend. He's had people who he's known for years. I've had people who I thought were friends for years completely turn on you the second you come out with your conservative views. They call you, they wish death upon you. Say, I hope you catch COVID and die. What kind of friend is that? Just because we disagree? Who has real love?
Because, you know, I think the root of that is that people, they don't like, darkness hates light, right? If they see somebody shining, and you become a light when you get to know yourself, and you're comfortable in yourself, and you're living for yourself as opposed to living for other people,
Mhm.
and they see that, and they're jealous of it.
Yeah.
And so they hate you. But they really hate that they can't be free. It's like, I feel like the
It's
root of
convicting.
the root of hate for people is something within themselves.
Mhm.
They're usually, if someone disagrees, it's because they're really angry at the fact that they can't articulate what they, you know, properly to convince. I can't convince you.
Yeah.
So it's really never the other person. It's always something within.
Yeah.
What do I know?
I definitely think that's part of it. And I think also, like, you nailed it when you said the spirit behind it, because I think that, I mean, it's anger is something to look for when you're looking for the wrong spirit, but also I think just being accusatory. Like,
Ooh, accusatory.
yeah.
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 Accuser. Big
You know,
word.
the Bible describes Satan as the accuser of the brethren. So whenever I see people just like calling names or, you know, shouting crucify him, basically I'm thinking like that's not the spirit of
Yeah.
God. Like
Can you accuse the sky of being purple?
no.
You can't. All you gotta do is look up at the sky and you see that it's blue.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
see what
like,
you're saying.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like the compliment thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you
It's
don't
the
have
truth.
the accuser. Exactly. The
Yeah.
truth. The truth is, and the accuser is going to one that tries to prove something,
Right.
and it's usually going to be some way of like of trickery, of confusion. You know, I'm going to show you why the sky's purple, and then they're going to try to convince you, and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm seeing blue, but
Right.
what you're saying sounds really good. And then they use these words, and then you start to think like,
Right.
maybe my vision's off. You know, maybe you're right. And
Yeah.
it's like, nah, you just detoured me from the truth.
Yeah, it reminds me of that Nancy Pelosi video you posted about this smear wrap-up smear. And I mean, literally celebrating slandering other people.
Oh, right.
Right.
Speaking of Nancy Pelosi, drink with me and you'll be in a world of pure intoxication.
She would love this song.
She would. She drinks to it nightly. It actually was her that recorded it. It was her
There
first
is
song.
Her voice.
It was her
I
voice.
love that. Yeah. I
So-
believe that.
Lucas Reese wants to know, what do you think about Tyson James? Have you seen his son's rap video?
I think I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Is that Tyson Unruh?
Ty said I think he did a remix for Jesse, if that's who I'm thinking of, and he's good. And I'm kind of picky with rappers and stuff like that, but he has conviction and he has a sound to his voice, and I like it. It's a good, you know. Some people that got it, some people that just
Yeah, not everyone's a rapper, but everyone
You know.
thinks they're a rapper.
yeah. I
I
mean,
think I'm a rapper.
because rapping is like you're not singing, you know.
Yeah.
You.
Oh, I missed T's question.
It's like you got to be a kind of have a good rhythm and cadence and drumming kind of sense with lyrics. It's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's weird. I don't know how to
Yeah.
say it.
Say
I'm
it.
looking for it, T.
I feel like a lot of people don't know how to listen for it either. They're just like, I either like it or I don't.
Which is good. Which is why I like to ask people's opinions about my music. They
Mhm.
don't know anything about music because they just hear it as a flat image, right?
Yep.
They're like, oh, I like it or I
Yeah.
don't like it.
Mhm.
And music people, they're gonna be like, well, I'd change this part to there, and it's like they're too intellectual. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and most of them want to just like act like they know what they're talking about, and most people are just like, they'll just start dancing or like I like to ask girls like play a song,
Mhm.
and then they'll just be like, oh yeah, like you could usually tell with body language if you're looking for the truth, you know.
Yeah, totally.
T, what was that question again? I scrolled up. I
Yeah.
just saw the comment about
Can you
if
call?
the shooters were black and the jogger was white.
And then he asked something
Yeah,
else.
or give us a call, T. You
Yeah,
know
call
we
us.
love your calls, man.
Talk to him.
308-5559.
Love you, T. Give us a call, brother. Chris Hawk and I get better talk in person. Yeah, David, we can't. I mean, hey, I love you too, man. It's all good.
Is that our David?
Our David.
Our
Can't wait to
David?
see you, bud.
Hey man, you're supposed to only agree.
T, you're just wanting to watch him look for it. I know. You had me looking for it. I'm all just
Oh,
glued
that's
to
funny.
this. Beard guy, that's the best.
I don't know why.
Thanks, Steven.
It's making me want tea.
T Warrior?
Yeah.
So give us a call. Schmitty just dropped the number in the chat, 818-308-5559. Let us hear from you. We want to hear your side of it.
Thank you,
don't-
Schmitty.
Yeah.
Super chats on shitty. So witty. Schmitty.
Are there any girls in the chat?
Just Richard.
Well, screw you, David. We don't want to see you either.
What did he say?
He's like, no, not you guys. I want to see Chris. I bet you do want to see Chris.
I don't understand.
Ruth's Chris.
You always did look like you had a little sugar in your tank. There we go.
Would you rather see Ruth's Chris or Chris's Ruth?
Baby Ruth?
Who dat?
Who dat? Who there? You on the air.
It's T Warrior. What's
T
going on?
Warrior!
Yeah!
What's cracking?
Hey, you skipped my question, Beard Dude. I'm
I
kind
was
of
looking for it. I couldn't find it.
Oh man, it's probably this Obama phone. look, I
Obama
was asking, I asked what are Kelly's views on feminism and the high level of man hate in America today.
Good question.
Wait, what was?
What are your views on feminism and the high level of man hate today?
Oh.
The attack on masculinity.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm definitely against it. I believe that men and women are designed differently, and that we should celebrate those differences, and that men should be celebrated as leaders in the home and in the community and really anywhere. I'm a huge fan of men, and so I would not define myself as a feminist in any way. I'm grateful for, rights as a woman, like equal rights, but I don't want to. I don't believe in tearing down men.
When I hear you say celebrate men, what I hear from that really is that I see celebration as is allowing people to just be in their nature.
Right.
You know, like don't try to stop a man from being a man. It's like I love a woman that's in her nature that is a woman. And that creates opposites to attract. And be like, wow, you're different. Like it's just like culture and black people and Asians and whatever. It's like I like being around people that are able to be who they are, and they're not gonna like try to like be like me. Like the white guy that's gonna hang around the black guy and be like, yo, what's up, dog?
Yeah.
You're like, dude, like you know what I mean? Like be you, bro.
That's a
So
good
here's
one.
the thing. Here's how I view it. I think that there's a difference between race and culture. And if you're raised in a certain area or around a certain people, that's how you're going to behave. You know what I mean?
No, true.
So, yeah, if you're raised in Beverly Hills, you're going to act like that. You're going to be, I want me a new cardigan and some penny loafers or whatever, you know? I want a soy latte, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But if
Double
you're
pump.
raised, you know, if you're raised in the country, you're probably used to, hunting raccoons or whatever they do, you know. So
Yeah.
I think where you're raised or how you're raised is very important. You know, that's why I don't like when people say that guy's trying to act black or that guy's trying to act white. You know, that's
But there
kind of
are people
way
that
to look at it because
there are people that are like that though.
But
Like
he's
I've seen
talking
people.
about like a specific culture.
No,
right?
I get what he's saying. It's like Eminem, right? He was raised in Detroit, and he is that. Like maybe he is not so much now, but he was. But there are people that I've seen be like chameleons, and they change. Like whoever they're hanging around, they're gonna try and act like.
They overdo it. They lay it on thick.
oh yeah, I know what you mean. Like they weren't raised like that, but
Yeah, like Malibu's
they
Most
try to
Wanted.
put on, yeah, what's up, dog?
Yeah,
and when
yeah,
they
what's-
buddies are like, hi,
Yeah.
hi, Smitty, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, Stuart, I'm gonna need that on my desk. Oh hell no! What's up, dog?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Smitty on the chat line. I'm talking about that name popped up for some reason.
Yeah.
Shout out to Corn Pop and Matt living the dream.
He's a real bad dude.
Corn Pop is a
So-
bad dude.
So there was a question.
Yeah, but,
Matt wanted to know, based on kind of going off T's question, Kelly, what do you mean by equal rights when you talk about that?
like owning property and voting and stuff like that.
So, do you feel that they don't have the same rights today, women, as
Women?
men?
What do you mean?
Are they unequal right now?
What can men do that women can't do systematically?
No,
in
I
the
don't
law?
think I don't think we're unequal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So legally, we're all the same.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you think that people are catering to women these days?
I think, and I think that there's definitely been a shift in culture towards, obviously, men fathers not being in the home, and the government or some other power structure taking the place of that man, and then the woman taking the place of that man. And I think it's really destructive for women. I think that telling women that they should want a career, not a family, I think that they should be presented as, options. I don't think that we should tell women that they're less than for wanting to be mothers at a young age. I think we should celebrate the traditional family.
Amazing.
Yeah. Does that answer the question?
I don't know. What do you think, T? Does that make sense?
Makes really good sense.
Yeah.
I look around. I look around now, and it's kind of common to see the wife that looks like the volleyball coach and the husband that looks like the weak, wilted, wet noodle, you know. And she's just there
Exactly.
with the flat top, like, get over here, Bert, and get that corn, you know,
Exactly. Dad,
like.
get the right
It's crazy
tomatoes,
to me.
Dan.
Like, how does a woman grow up and want to take the position of the man and then live like that gladly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just strange to me. I
Yeah.
think that women don't realize the true beauty that God has made them. Not just physical beauty, but the actual beauty that God has made them in. I mean, once you leave, it's just like the dudes who try to be chicks, you know what I mean? Like, they don't realize the powerful position that God put them in.
Mm-hmm.
In their mind, that, you know, I want to be something else, you know, and it's just weird to me, man.
Totally, yeah. And they can't feel happy in that either. I mean, that's gotta wear on people over time, whether they think, like, I knew a girl whose mom raised her to be a feminist from a young age, you know, told her that she wanted her to sleep around, put her on birth control at a young age.
Terrible.
And basically, honestly, even in certain situations, forced her to be physical with guys as a teenager.
Jeez, so she was pimping her out.
Yeah, she wanted her because she felt like that she was so sheltered and she believed in, you know, the free sex movement in the 60s. She wanted her to have all that. And she really struggled. You know, she really resented her mom for that later
Did
on
her
in
mom?
life.
Did her mom smoke?
Marijuana.
I don't know, maybe. Probably.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was her mom was really intelligent too. Like she.
But see, that's the thing is a lot of people that are intelligent and intellectual
Are wrong.
they use it wrongly because you can easily just like a lawyer, right? A lawyer's gonna be really intellectual and smart. They know the gray area real well, which is reasons and excuses, and convince people that Satan convinces people.
You can justify anything with your own intellect.
Exactly.
That's why we need the word of God.
Word.
Well, something that I realize is that is very common for a lot of women to be jealous of their daughters, and so they'll make the most they'll make the greatest effort to actually sabotage that daughter's life and her relationships. So if the daughter is having a good relationship in her marriage, the mother who's lonely, she'll do everything in her power to sour that relationship because she doesn't want to look and see her daughter having a better relationship than she had.
Right.
So she'll interject all those fears and all that mistrust into her daughter's relationship, hoping to see it fall apart.
Yeah,
So that way, you know, they say misery loves company, and you know, it is terrible.
They try to they recreate you in their own image. It's just like Jesse says, and it's so true. My mom was the same way. They think they mean well. They can't help it. They don't see it, but they end up, like you said, forcing you to live through the same mistakes they did because it's like this weird effect. They don't have to face it because everyone around them is the same way, so they don't stand out.
Right.
Hey, speaking of Jesse, I'm about to take a big left-hand turn in this conversation.
Go ahead.
Because I love Jesse Lee Peterson.
However,
And I don't, but some things he say I don't agree with. One of them being, I'm listening to the show the other day when I'm at work, and he said this. He said that sex in marriage should not be pleasurable. What the?
You know how T loves his sex.
Yeah, why
Bro, how you gonna have pleasureless sex? How do you pull that off? Because like I said, I got 7 kids. So,
Yeah.
So somebody's having a good
and I
time.
didn't get that because the sex was painful and boring.
yeah, no, exactly. You know what I think it is I think it is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to you know how most guys like get the rap of like being quick to be like, yeah, I last 5 minutes, you know, and the girl wants to make it last a long time, because I feel like a girl, if you like, the more she's getting like, you know, she's his god in that moment, really. You know, he's making her feel important physically and all that stuff. He's, you know, trying to satisfy her and all these things. And my brain just deleted.
Man,
why would
let
Jesse say that?
me tell you. Man, sex. Okay, so and I have to go back to the Bible. The Bible says marriage is honorable than all, and the bed is undefiled. So once you get married, you're supposed to enjoy each other. you're supposed to enjoy each other's sex. Now, if your whole relationship is just based totally on sex, you have no idea who each other is as a person. You don't strive to progress in your life in any way. All you're thinking about is sex all the time. Well, that can be detrimental. But when you're talking about that bond of sex, that's important in a marriage. I mean, I've never heard of a couple walking in the room. Why are you crying, darling? Because we gotta have sex. I'm trying to get you pregnant. Oh God, I don't want to do this. Like that. Look, if sex was not pleasurable, man, we have like 10 people on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say T on that one because I remember being at church that one day. The way I interpret it, or how I understand it from Jesse, is the reason why you don't want it to be pleasurable is that people are living in their head. So like, say I was married right now, and if I'm right now saying, man, I can't wait to get home and bang my wife, I'm living in my thought about the feeling of sex, as opposed to I should have no opinion about it. What's done in the past is gone, and if I do go into that unconscious state when I do bang her, then it get it over, wham bam, thank you man, and get back to being awake.
You said when you bang her, huh?
Just when you bang her, just bang-a-rang.
I love him. Yeah, we
That's
need
so
to make it
romantic. But look, dude, come on, man. It's nothing wrong with thinking about your wife. The problem is if you're thinking about your wife and then the neighbor's wife and then suing you up the street.
That's the thing. It's a slippery slope.
But you're supposed to think about your wife. The Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." That's what God told Adam and Eve.
Don't be fruity and blow it down.
But don't think about her, because if you start thinking about her, like Trevor says, you're subject to her, and when you're doing the do, you are subject to her. You're in her world. So you got to get in there and you got to get into hell, bang it, and then get out of hell.
No, see, for me, right?
That is
I'm not gonna be thinking about, oh, I can't wait, blah blah blah. Man, I'll say that. Of course, it happens. But in the moment, right? It's like that ass. You see it, it's there, and all of a sudden you live in the moment, and pow! But I'm not gonna think about it like.
You should think about your wife. I think you should listen to a married man. He's speaking from experience.
It's a dysfunctional man.
Yeah, he's still. T has to overcome that banging. He's still living in his bang.
He has to overcome that banging.
He'll overcome it on the 13th child, and he realizes
he overcame it 7 times.
Hey, look, man.
No, I'm being skeptical. I'm not saying that that's what I think. I'm saying, well, maybe
that's what he's
from
saying.
this side or that side. Trust me, man. I got a song. Badass
So let's view this. So God made this amazing thing called an orgasm, but you're not supposed to enjoy it. Like,
Thank you.
How do you have a blank face while you're, here it comes, baby. And you got a blank look on your face.
I
Now I'm
agree
going
with
to
him,
work.
though. I think
And
he's
I hope you didn't enjoy that.
That's right. You take that to the bang.
This dude said bang.
That was like a you.
Oh, man. Hey, Trevor, how would Bill Cosby say that?
Say what?
About banging.
Who say? The hot sauce. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think that's a strange thing that Jesse said. I think we should be able to ask him about it, though. Could you ask him that in church?
You can ask anything. You can ask whatever you like.
If Jesse messed around and get married and get a piece, that radio show will be once a week.
I've heard Jesse interviewed this girl on the Fallen State, this lady, and she looked good for her age because Jesse's like 70. She was like probably 50 something, but she looked good. And she says, "You haven't had sex?" And he said, "I'm ready." Like he's like, "Oh, I'm ready." Like he was flirting. He had a little flirting vibe. So
Flirting with the 70-year-old woman.
No, he's 70, and he was flirting with like a 50-some-year-old woman. That's her age right now.
Isn't he married?
No.
Koba has a comment for Kelly. He says, joke about girl best friend whose mom raised to sleep around? Name and address, please.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I don't want to call her out like that.
So, but I understand what you're saying, T. Like, I'll enjoy it. If I'm getting married, I'll be in it. But it's a dangerous line. You just got to make sure you don't live in that imagination about that sex.
Yeah, I'll enjoy it unmarried.
You beta.
Hey, just make sure you wear that mullet in there when you go in that bedroom.
I basically have a mullet right now, man.
Man,
It's
you look like
been 3 years.
look like Justin Timberlake's cousin or something, man.
His redneck cousin.
That's Cricket Timberlake. Cricket. Hey, Justin. Justin.
Hey, and about that guy that got shot, the guy y'all were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
I
Ahmaud
was like,
Arbery.
man, that just seems like kind of a odd circumstance that this guy is jogging that far away from his house. Like, come on, man. How many brothers do you know that just jog?
Right, and
I was
boots.
saying that, man. I live in LA, right? And that's like a melting pot. All these people trying to. I've rarely seen just black dudes just jogging, especially in cargo shorts and like flip flops or whatever he was wearing.
Yeah. I mean, we were growing up, you know, we were going to play some football, basketball, have a fist fight or two. But wasn't nobody outside jogging.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like saying, yeah, the black man was camping. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, I went camping before, dude. It was fun. It was fun. I like stuff like that. I want to go
You should ask him if he wants to
man.
camping with you. Oh, yeah.
But
If
not
you,
hurting people. I want to.
Well, here I got a question. If you went camping by yourself, right? You went, you know, you woke up the next morning and you were sore from the waist down, and there was a condom next to you that was used. Would you tell anybody?
Wait, hold on, wait. You saying if I went camping by myself?
By
and I
yourself,
woke
right?
up-
You went by yourself and you woke up and you were sore from the waist down, your pants were down, and there was a condom next to you. Would you tell anyone?
Trell, I'm sorry that happened to you, man. I mean,
I'm just asking a question. Would you tell?
Would you tell
anyone?
bro, that wouldn't even happen to me, man.
But would you tell
but
anybody
if it
did?
happened,
He's
would
not
you
letting
tell
me-
anyone?
He's not letting you tell the joke.
I don't know how that would happen, bro. Like, that would happen to me.
That's
I
not
don't
the
know
question.
That's not the question. Yes or no,
what
T?
was happening between the time I went to sleep?
Well, you
and
don't know.
between
You
the
don't
time
know.
I-
All you know is that you're sore from the waist down, your pants are down, and there's a condom. Would you tell anyone?
He's too reasonable for this joke.
Nah, I ain't answering that. That sounds like you said.
So I'm gonna take that as a no. You would tell nobody?
That ain't happening to me, bro.
But if it did,
If it did, for
Would
the
you-
sake of this premise.
would you tell anyone?
Yeah,
If it
okay.
happened.
Okay, I'll tell you, the only way that happens to me is if I open the condom and threw it beside myself and slipped and fell and hurt my hip.
If it happened, would you tell anyone?
It wouldn't happen, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Cool, you want to go camping? I asked Jesse that question, right? I asked him that one time we were out eating. I asked him, and he immediately said no. And I said, "Cool, you want to go camping?" And then he just died. He died laughing, bro. It was so
He said,
funny.
what the?
He just died laughing. It was so funny.
Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna tell you, man. I watched a video, one of the episodes of The Fallen State, where he was interviewing the two young people that they represented Black Lives Matter. Man, that was one of the funniest interviews I'd ever seen.
I saw that one. And she's is that the one where they said, "Why do you keep saying? Why do you keep saying you guys? Like you're not, you know, black like us?" And he says, "Well, I have to divide myself because it's not about. It's about right and wrong and good and evil, and I can identify with evil." And so, but the look on their face was like they totally just didn't understand what he was talking about. But I feel like deep down they kind of they got it.
Did you see how Big Mama came in there and broke it up?
Wait,
You're traumatizing them. You're traumatizing them.
is this the same one I'm thinking of? Am I thinking of a different one?
Sounds different.
No, it was this dude. It was a dude and a girl. They both had afros. One of them had like a fro, and the other one had like this nappy perm. And the dude was like super effeminate. He was like, "Okay, Jesse, I'm telling you, black people are trying to come together and figure out what has come to the black people, all the violence." And he was real feminine, this dude. And Jesse asked him, he said, "So what happened to you? What racial thing has happened to you?" And both of them said they got fired because of their hair. So Jesse said, "So did you sign the application saying that you'll follow the rules, you'll do what they want to do as long as they pay you, so on and so forth?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll do that." And then he said, "So they hired you. Was your hair like that when they hired you?" He said, "No, it was a little shorter, so you let it grow and get out of control, and they told you to cut it, and you didn't want to cut it, and so they fired you. How was that racism?"
Exactly.
Well, you see, the difference is that
Hey, that's something actually that I disagree with Jesse on. He says that he doesn't think black people should have their natural hair and that they should alter it. And my whole thing is, I think that if it's all depends on who it is. Like some people can pull certain things off, but I think it's all about the grooming, how well kept you are groomed. It's not about your natural hair or not. Like it's.
I don't think he means that because he saw Victoria with an afro at church. Well, not an afro, but Victoria let her hair out and picked it out, and she styled it. And he said it looked that. He's like, that looks beautiful. That's how it should look. It's like you said, groomed. He doesn't like nappy hair.
Yeah, like, if
how
I
you
just
gonna
woke
go
up
to
and got out
work
of
with your
bed
head looking like cat's been sucking on it all night? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Black people got
Looking like a steel wool Brillo pad.
for real, man. I mean, we all know. Look, did you know 80% of the hair products sold in America are sold to black people?
Yep, by 100% Koreans.
They don't want you in that store either, man. If you
Yeah.
black, they think
Hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy.
Hurry up and buy.
Yeah.
Hurry up and buy.
Oh, girlfriend, you look so pretty.
Yeah, but I mean,
I guess that's Vietnamese. Those are the nail girls.
but it ain't racial, man. You just gotta do your hair up, man. Like,
That's
why you gonna
it.
walk into your job
Just
with
give
your hair
a
all
damn
over the
about
place?
your hair and be presentable.
Yeah, that's it. It ain't got nothing to do with your race. We know black folks got nappy hair. I got nappy hair.
It just
but I
takes a
ain't
little
gonna-
bit longer to get it ready, but like it's worth it. It looks good in the end when you're groomed. I mean, even white people can look like crap. They just show up and
Yeah.
don't fix their hair.
Even white.
Thank you.
Looking like,
Yeah,
looking
like Trevor.
Shaggy
He
off
looks
of
like
Scooby-Doo.
crap right now.
Yeah, but that's that. I ain't worried about it. But gentlemen and Miss Kelly, it's been good talking to you guys.
So good. Thank you for calling.
Oh, sounds like she's sweet on you. You know what? With you and Kelly combined, we got sweet tea.
Aww.
Sweet tea.
Yeah, that's cheesy.
On here, you have sweet pudding, you see?
Yeah, go have a drink. Go have a Cosby special.
Whoa.
From the whole show, huh?
Oh man. Yeah, we
right.
slipped something in the water.
Oh my god.
All right, well, I'll let you guys, man.
All right, T. God bless,
I'm
brother.
scared now.